Thank you so much for joining us here today at the Guardian Angels of Southwest Florida campus for One More Child. We are thrilled. This is a momentous occasion that has been looked forward to for years and years. And it's going to be a lot of fun to celebrate. So before we get started, I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Emily Petrilli. I have the privilege of wearing two hats when I'm on this campus. I get to serve with One More Child as our Senior Director of Major Gifts. I've been on staff there since 2015. I also get the privilege of serving as a board member for Guardian Angels of Southwest Florida. So I feel like I get to celebrate double over anybody else here today because I get to celebrate with both organizations. Thank you so much for having me. Before we get started, just a couple of housekeeping things. If you need a restroom during today's program, if you step through those doors there behind Julie in the purple, she's waving at you, and take a left, you'll find the restrooms. Also, make sure that after the program, if you haven't already found the wonderful Holy Cow ice cream stand, we've got ice cream available as well as some beautiful cakes over there. So if you haven't seen them, make sure you get over quickly after the ceremony is over because they have precious replicas of the homes on them. So those are absolutely beautiful. So you want to catch them before they get cut up into pieces and enjoyed for all of us to take home. So I just wanted to tell a little bit of a story of my introduction to Guardian Angels. So when I started working for One More Child, one of our vice presidents, Averett, brought me down to Bradenton, and I had the privilege of going to lunch with Floyd and Bobby Price and Ed and Joanne Dick. And for those of you in this room who know those people, you know what that kind of a lunch was like, right? We laughed a lot, but we also talked about big hearts and big love for Jesus and big love for children. And I left that lunch that day and I got in my car and I said, Lord, make me like these people. Make me a person who loves you and loves children and is putting my life on the line for them. Right? Because those four people have done that faithfully for decades. So it's a privilege to get to be here a little bit today. And isn't it exciting to also be in the Azinger Family Compassion Center? And just what a beautiful partnership we've had together. We are thrilled at what God has done through his faithfulness, through his people, through Guardian Angels, through One More Child, and just what an incredible privilege it is to be a part of. So if y'all would just join me in a moment of prayer and thanksgiving before we get started. Dear Lord, I just thank you so much for what you have done. God, this campus, each of these people here, God, this is a celebration of what you have accomplished for your people, God. Your word tells us that you have a heart for the vulnerable, you have a heart for children, you have a heart for those who need a father. And God, I thank you for calling people to care for them, God, and for just showing up in a really big way. God, I thank you for your faithfulness to help this campus to be completed. God, I thank you for your faithfulness for the generations that are to come that will be impacted by and enjoy it. God, I thank you for this time. I pray that you would just bless it and just help it to be glorifying, honoring to you. In Jesus' name, amen. So at this time, I want you to direct your attention to the screen because we have a wonderful video put together by Manatee Educational Television to tell the story of just exactly how God used Guardian Angels and One More Child to build these homes.
Religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this: to look after orphans and widows in their distress and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world.
Floyd and I and our board and so many are beginning to celebrate a completion of a project. We're not stopping, but it's fun to be able to look back and see how God has used this ministry, this campus, to make a difference in the lives of foster children.
When we looked at this property initially, it was a jungle. And to see it today with just a thriving campus, not only with one home or two homes, but now with the 8th home being built. And with the Compassion Center right next door, that was not even close to our vision initially. These families are being cared for in ways that are broader than I could ever imagine. Guardian Angels is an organization that was brought together by local members of the body of Christ to really serve the foster children in our area, to provide safe, Christ-centered homes for them. It was founded by a group of people coming together that were concerned about the foster system in our area. A friend of mine told me I needed to meet Ed Dick. If you've ever met Ed Dick, you'll never forget him. He had a similar vision, and he'd been a foster parent, and we came together with a group he had and a group I had, and we formed Guardian Angels.
The vision was to care for foster children, especially sibling children, in a Christian atmosphere. We have counted on the community to be a part of what we're doing, especially our churches and our generous donors. That's what's made the difference in what we've been able to accomplish. And we have just been so blessed to be able to see how God has grown it.
We were introduced to a group called One More Child. With that introduction, it expanded our vision. We went from building a group home to building a campus.
Our beginning vision was to build 2 homes. And when we accomplished that, we said, now what's next? And then we were able to build 3, and then 4, and 5, and 6, and now we're completing 7 and 8.
These houses are amazing blessings. We always wanted to have and be able to help more foster kids. We were doing just 1 or 2 at a time. And then we found this wonderful community where we have a large house where we can have a lot of children in our house. We generally have about 10, which is a few more than most foster families have here. They're structured just right to be able to have this many kids in our home. The community itself, they're all fostering families, and we're able to help each other out on a daily basis.
As a child comes into foster care, their life is in turmoil. You know, you can't imagine what they're going through, what their feelings are. They've gone from one environment which may have been bad into another environment which is totally unknown. And to be able to walk into a home where there's 2 individuals that love them and care for them and support them is an amazing opportunity to really minister to that child. And so I think that opportunity we have here on this campus to do that, not just with one child, but with a large sibling group, to be able to care for them together so they're not separated, is an opportunity again to represent the love of Christ to these children in a really positive way.
This community is an amazing blessing.
When I think back about the hundreds of children really that have been on this campus and have received the love of Christ through our foster parents, we rejoice and celebrate.
When God gives a vision, He always makes provision. And that's what He's done. He gave us a vision there was no way in the world that we could accomplish. We didn't have any money, we didn't have any land, we didn't know anything at all about what to do with foster children except we wanted to help them. But God has put it together through His people. They provided the funds for us to build now 8 homes. And the Azinger Compassion Center is all here. It's all His doing through His people.
So many people are willing to help children if they are aware of the need. It's been a blessing to be able to see how the community has become involved in the ministry of Guardian Angels. It has made all the difference in the world.
Going into this next chapter, to be able to see that there are opportunities and ways in which we can benefit more than just the foster child, but maybe even enrich the lives of others in that family is really exciting.
It's easy to celebrate what God has done here. We just rejoice with each home that has been built and the donors who have made it possible. But we're not done yet. God has opened another door of opportunity, and we're embracing that. We're so excited to take that next step with the Lord's approval.
It's incredibly exciting that we've seen the completion of this campus, which is a testament to what God can do with faithful people. However, we're not done yet. There's so much more that needs to happen in Manatee, Sarasota, and DeSoto counties. Our next phase is that we're going to build single moms units along with one more child for moms and their children to move into. The hopes with that is to keep them out of foster care. So please continue to join us and partner with us as we continue to see where God is leading Guardian Angels.
A father to the fatherless, a defender of widows, is God in his holy dwelling.
Right? Didn't Manatee Educational Television do just an exceptional job telling that story for us? Let's give them another round of applause. So you've just seen him on the stage, but I want to welcome, or on the screen. Now I'd like to welcome Jim Corbett to the stage. So Jim, come on up here with me, but I'm going to talk about you for a minute. He loves this, right? He's one of the founding members of Guardian Angels, so he's been a part of this project from the beginning. He's been a faithful supporter. He and his wife, Kim, are foster and adoptive parents. They are also regulars on this campus serving children. We are so grateful for them. Jim, would you please make a special presentation for us?
Yes, I would. First off, it is such an honor. First off, it's such an honor to just be here today and to dedicate this home to this family. But it's also an honor to stand here and see so many friends and to realize what an awesome God we serve. You know, you just think, I remember before when we had no property, and just to see that what's happened today is just amazing. But this couple, or this family that we're dedicating this home to today, I've known him for a long time, and as a matter of fact, I got to play basketball with Floyd and softball with Floyd, so I've known Floyd for a long time. But God showed favor on Guardian Angels when he brought Bobby and Floyd to our board. I mean, we were so blessed. I have been a part of other boards before. I've never seen a volunteer president that is as dedicated and passionate about the mission, that's laser focused on the mission. So, I mean, Bobby, thank you so much. And then with Bobby, we get Floyd. So, and that has been a blessing. And like I said earlier, I got to play basketball with him, and I knew how competitive he was. And I knew that he didn't like to lose, but I'd never seen him at action. And I've seen a compassion in him, and again, a focus and a love for children and a love for this ministry. And I'll tell you what, you don't see the joy of the Lord in anybody more than Floyd Price when you walk up to him and he starts talking about Guardian Angels. You know, he is just contagious. So with that in mind, and also with Floyd and Bobby, we got their family. And so we got their whole family here. And so, and yeah, give them a round of applause for the family. That's just, you know, they have done so much they've made such an impact on this community, and it wouldn't be here today without God's work, God and their family coming together with all of us. But with that, I'd like to ask Floyd and Bobby to come on up. And we'd like to present this to you. And home number 7 will have this on the front of the home. So and it's such an honor and a blessing for me to be able to present this to you and your family today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll give it to Floyd. You got it? I got it.
Thank you, Jim, for those kind words. Do I need to move this? We are really, you hear people say when they're acknowledged that they are humbled and they don't deserve it. And those are all the things that we felt when they told us they wanted to do this for us. And I was especially humbled and undeserving. But Floyd said, "What do you think they waited so long?" What can you do? Well, you get me, you get Floyd, right? But anyhow, we really are just so thrilled to be a part of this ministry and to be acknowledged in this way. But what I'd like to say is, instead of our names being on that plaque, I know some other people's names who really deserve to be on there. The first one I'd like to acknowledge would be our board. We have a 23-member board who have been faithful from the get-go. We have met for 18 years, and some of those board members are still there, and you don't get off our board. Basically, when you join up, you're there, and they have worked tirelessly. So I would like to recognize them. Some are already standing, but if you're a board member of Guardian Angels, would you just stand up and let people see who you are? And raise your hand if you're standing, because I know some in the back. Thank you. Thank you. The second person's name or people who should also be on this plaque would be our partners at One More Child. There is no way that we could have accomplished what we have without their assistance. So they run the program. We raise the money and we provide some services, but they are the ones who are the experienced. They've been in the business of taking care of foster children and orphans for 120 years. So we have trusted them, and they have followed through with every promise they ever made. So their names should also be on this plaque. And then the third ones, I think, would be our foster parents. What heroes. I mean, honest to Pete, not very many people, the people on this campus especially, because they take multiple children. And they are willing to do whatever it takes to receive that child, to love that child, to sacrifice for that child, and to share the love of Jesus Christ. That's what makes a difference in these homes and all of our foster homes. So their names should be on that plaque. They are definitely our heroes. And then the other people who should be on this plaque are our supporters. Those who have been from the very beginning, who didn't know that this was going to happen or not, but yet invested, because they knew the need was there, and they knew the people that were involved, and they trusted them to do the best they could with what they had. And so supporters financially, civic organizations who have stepped up and allowed us to apply for grants and have been so generous, our churches who weekly, monthly give to us, we're in their budget, and there are people who give online every month. We couldn't do it without our community supporters, and so we're so thankful for each one of them. So their names really are the ones that should be on their plaque. So when you see it says Floyd and Bobby, you're going to envision all these other things that I've talked to you about. And one other thing I was going to mention, and I just saw Ray, we have gifts from the fair, hogs, steers, not live. They're already packaged and brought here, but our foster families wait for that fair to be over because they know they're coming. So we have quilts in there that people have donated because they love to sew for these children. We just can't thank them enough. So this is a truly special day, and we're just so thankful to be a part of it. And I've talked a long time, so Floyd wouldn't. Okay.
How did he do that?
There you go.
Basically, I could just say ditto and, and sit down, and most of you wish that I would. But you knew that wasn't going to happen. I don't have any planned comments to make, but I just want to say today is a day of celebration, praise, and thanksgiving.
That's right.
You know, we praise, to God give the glory. Great things he has done. You'll see that on the cakes that Bobby had prepared. And that's just so true. We could not do what has been done. We had no idea. But God has taken his people, and we have two mantras. All of you that have been around have heard me say a million times. In fact, one of them was even on that little video. But the first one was, compassion is an action. So many times we see something, we feel bad about it, sorry, but you got to act. And the second one you heard me say a few minutes ago, when God gives a vision, he always makes provision. And boy, have we seen that come true. We didn't have any idea what we were doing. And Ed and Joanne, who were the backbone and got us all started with Jim, they're just phenomenal. We wouldn't be here today without them. But the praise and the appreciation and the thanksgiving goes to the Lord first. Because without him and then his people, there's no way we would be here doing this celebration today. I mean, we got a couple of wealthy members on the board, but they could not have done this whole project. You people have done it. There are people here that have just given so generously that it would embarrass them to death if we were to say, and we wouldn't say how much it is. But you folks have been so good and so generous. And we praise you and we thank you. We give thanksgiving for you. There's a lot of people that I would like to thank. I know when you start to do that, there's so many you leave out. And that would be true. But I want to thank Charlie Clapsaddle.
That's right.
Charlie's here tonight. Charlie shouldn't be here. He's not a well man, but he's a wonderful man. And we appreciate he's with METV. Charlie was here to do our first two fundraisers. He was here when we dedicated the first two homes. And he should not be here today, but thank God he is. He sent his people out, and they did the video that you saw just a moment ago. It's that kind of people. We've had so many. You've been so good to us. You've been so good to God's children. Thank you. And now I'm going to shut up.
Not tall. And obviously now after those of you who didn't know them, after listening to them speak, you know why it has been one of the honors of my career to work with Guardian Angels and with the Prices and with each and every one of you. At this time, I'm going to invite Dr. Jerry Haig to come up, and I'm going to talk about you for a minute before I let you have the microphone. So Dr. Haig is the president and CEO at One More Child, and so I've had the privilege to work for him during my entire tenure at the organization. He's an exemplary leader. He has incredible business expertise and programmatic excellence, but most importantly, he has a really big heart for Jesus and for children and families in need. And so that's what he leads with, which is an incredible blessing. And by way of an introduction, rather than share an official bio, I asked Bobby, what would you say about Dr. Haig? And she expressed what she just did a moment ago, just how much the partnership between Guardian Angels and One More Child has meant. That Dr. Haig has been a staunch supporter of Guardian Angels since day one. He has guided us so well with wisdom along the journey. When Guardian Angels had questions, Dr. Haig either had answers or he knew people who did and went and found them. And he's always shared the impact that Guardian Angels has made in the ministry of foster care. And he's been an incredible cheerleader along the way. So with that, Dr. Haig, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you, Emily. Yeah, what she failed to mention is the greatest thing that I brought was my sweet wife, Christy, into that relationship too. Tonight is an afternoon, an evening of celebration. I appreciate that, Floyd. I mean, we're still celebrating the completion of a campus. We're celebrating homes number 7 and 8. We're celebrating all the Guardian Angels and One More Child in this community, and each of you have been a part of now for 17, 18 years. And so I think about when Christy and I first met Floyd and Bobby and Jim and Ben and Ed and Joanne was 17 years ago. And as Emily talked about having lunch with Ed and Joanne and Floyd and Bobby, and I was just waiting to hear what she said was the outcome of it. Because if you knew Ed, it was going to be an exciting lunch. But man, what wonderful hearts they have for this community and for foster children and children that are struggling throughout all of our communities. And Floyd and Bobby are that same way. As we met with the board here, and as we met with Floyd and Bobby, and each of you on the board, not only did we join in a partnership, we joined in a relationship. And our hearts were intertwined together. Our families have now been intertwined together over those 17 years. We went with Floyd and Bobby in those early years as they worked with us in 3 different countries, helping children from other countries. And as long as we had Floyd coffee, he was ready to go. And they lived out Jesus' love to those kids in other countries. But I'll never forget, we came back. And in fact, I asked Bobby to join the board of One More Child. And she said, I appreciate the honor. I appreciate you asking. I appreciate the involvement that we've had internationally. But our calling and our work is right here in this 3-county area on this campus. Floyd and Bobby, we love you. Could not love you more, and are so grateful for the relationship that we've been able to share over these years. With each of you on the board, Britt serves as a board member now of One More Child. We couldn't get Bobby, so we got Britt, right? And Britt has overseen, he's been responsible for all of the building that's taken place on this campus. Jeff Perkins, where's Jeff? Going back right there, Jeff right here in the back, has been responsible for building homes 7 and 8. Now, if you know Jeff or you know Britt, they're son-in-laws, so this is a big family thing, right? And it just emanates from Floyd and Bobby. As we look back and as we look over those past 17 years, Guardian Angels and One More Child, through this campus, through the work of our incredible foster team, and I know we've got several of our foster care staff here, Rachel, and where's everybody else? So, yep, Julie over here, Janelle, all right, Tiffany, Tori. So we've got incredible staff here, y'all, and they are on that front lines every day working with foster children. But through our work together, we have been able to provide care for more than 1,000 children in foster care. And you talk about a legacy. Oh my goodness, incredible. Super excited about that. You know, the excitement of knowing that through our partnership together and through the work with One More Child, that this past year we were able to directly serve over 250,000 children and adults. And while we can look at that and go, wow, those are incredible impact. That's an amazing legacy. Those are incredible big numbers. But what's most important is the life of one. And so I'd tell you about one. I'd tell you about Ella. Ella, at the age of 14 months old, was in her home. Her parents had both overdosed. They didn't pass away, but they'd overdosed from oxycodone that they'd been shooting up. The pills that were crushed were left on the counter and on the tables, and Ella had gone up to one of those and gotten exposed to oxy. At the age of 14 months, when EMT came, they had to resuscitate her. They had to administer Narcan. She spent the next 3 months in neonatal ICU. But the beauty of what was taking place was in the midst of her tragedy, God had raised up a foster family through our work together. And that this foster family felt called to be able to care for Ella. And they did. They brought her home from the hospital. They went to physical therapy. They went to all kinds of therapy and doctor's appointments following that terrible, terrible tragedy. She was developmentally behind where she needed to be. But through their patience, through their love, through their care, Ella began to thrive. And now, at the age of 2.5 years old, Ella's on track for where she needs to be developmentally. She's in swim lessons, she's in gymnastic lessons, and she's been adopted into her forever family. Now, Ella is a part of that family, and her foster mom shared a story that when she was about to foster, she said, I had this dream that I would foster a little girl. that I'd one day be able to adopt. And that I was to name that little girl Esther. And I think about for such a time as this, for such a time in that little girl's life. But what I get excited about is thinking about Esther's role, Esther's life, Esther's impact as she grows, as she develops, and all that Esther will become and all that will happen because of her sweet life. Bobby said it, we're not done yet. We can celebrate what's taken place, but we've got to press forward, just like we did here with the Paul and Tony Azinger Compassion Center. Paul's here, Tony's here. Thinking about the impact that's happened in this room of more than 3 million meals last year came out of this building. More than $10 million worth of household items like the diapers that you brought. And we say, well, we're not done yet. We're going to keep pressing on. And to be able to think about now that we can build homes for single moms that can come into care. And y'all, when we do that, it is preventative foster care. Almost 60% of those that are removed from homes, children that are removed from homes, will be removed from that home from reasons related to poverty. And so if we can help provide a mom stable housing for the year, if we can help provide job training skills, if we can help her with budgeting and coming alongside, having a Christian mentor come alongside her so that she can be transformed to be able to provide for her own children that she loves, then we can make a difference in not only the life of that mom, but her children and her grandchildren for generations to come. So let's watch this story and be able to hear about Jennifer and the impact that you and I are going to be able to make on single moms and their families.
You excited?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like living here?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Whew. Ready? Come on, Bubba. You hold my hand? It's the same painting. Wow. You remember the couch? Yeah. I remember when they were really tiny, I would have like the laundry baskets, like 2 of them, and I'd stuff it with like pillows and blankets and give them snacks so they can like eat in front of the TV and stuff. I have a video where he's like this tiny. Oh wow, it's different. This is actually where I got my job offer for working at the Florida Department of Corrections, which is where I'm at now. Yeah, I was standing right here when I had gotten it. UCLA. That's what's wild. It's so healing. Part of me wishes I could like hug younger me and be like, we're good, I promise. I was in the middle of a divorce, so things weren't as pleasant as we would all hope it to be. And I was like trying to figure out how to cut corners on certain things, like the cheapest possible meals. As long as I knew that the rent was paid, we got a struggle bus the next month until I could find my position. I was working 3 different jobs. I was still living paycheck by paycheck. We're already living off of, I think it was like $43 a week for groceries. I had a friend who was actually volunteering here, and she's just like, they do have a program for moms, just ask them about it. And I was like, there's moms in worse situations than me. Well, finally it was I didn't have any diapers, and I felt bad like every time I would drop my son off at daycare. And they'd be like, hey, you need more. And I'm like, how do they use 10 diapers in a day? I was like, it's so expensive. I was like, I'll just pick up another shift. And I was like, just ask. So when I went into the Compassion Center, and she pulls out like a Post-it, writes name and number, and she's like, just call Miss Lori. I held on to that for like 3 weeks because I don't like asking for help. I called on 4th of July. I knew nobody was going to answer. I let it ring 5 times. I hung up, and I sat there and I was like, I did it, Lord. I did it. I asked for help. I was like, nobody answered. I did it. The Lord humbled me because Miss Lori called me back like not even a minute later. We ended up moving in. I opened up the door here, and I just remember just standing here as they disperse off and explore, and I'm just like, all right, like I have hope. I want to give back because of how much of a blessing this program was. not only to like the moms. Like, as I said earlier, like, I just wish I could hug young me. We are only put through battles that we can handle. I know there's a handful of donors that I have never met. It takes a village.
For the people who are helping and helping provide everything,
wow.
I'm so grateful.
On behalf of Jennifer, on behalf of Ella, on behalf of each and every one of those children that you've transformed their lives, for the moms that you'll come in and make an eternal difference in their life and in the life of their children, I want to say thank you. And Floyd, I'd ask you to come and be able to close us out. And I just offer a blessing of a verse that I love in Psalms. May the favor of the Lord our God rest on us. Establish the work of our hands. Yes, establish the work of our hands. Floyd?
And we're just about to close on a deal for another piece of property, and that will be to build single mom villas. And of course, we will build them, they will operate them. One More Child will be responsible for that, and they do such a wonderful job here, and I know they'll do a wonderful job there. Now, with reference to what's been said before, I really did not realize that I was such a phenomenal, fantastic person. I really feel like when I go home, I need to change the name on my mailbox to Mother Teresa. What can you say? Except thank you for a lot of very nice words. You want to make sure you see the cakes. The cakes are really special over there. You see they both have the homes with the last two. We've got a semblance of them over there. But you better go fast because they're going to start cutting that stuff pretty quickly. And you'll notice on there that it says, one of them says, "To God be the glory." The next one says, "Great things he has done." And you can't wrap up what we've seen here on this campus any better than that. To him be the glory. And to many of you who have helped so much. Great things he has done and you have done. Let me say, for those of you who want to visit the new homes, we'll have golf carts out here right after this, and we can take you over. And you can see exactly what we've been talking about. Six bedrooms, 6.5 baths, beautiful homes. And so we can have a tour. I want to also thank Holy Cow Ice Cream. They furnish. I knew I'd get a hand on that. They have been so gracious to us in the past. They've had deals for our whole campus out here, and they brought the ice cream, and they never charge us anything. It's just a wonderful blessing. I thank them so much. I've already mentioned Charlie, but I want to thank METV. Yeah, they did the video for us. Charlie couldn't be there, but he sent out Chris and Logan, and they just did, I think, a phenomenal job. I want to thank, it's supposed to be Jimmy Van, but it's Pastor Sardinas. Thank you for helping us with the sound situation, Dan. Now, let me mention one more thing that I was just handed. Channel Fox 13 tonight will have at least some portion of this at 10 o'clock. And that's Fox 13, correct? At 10 o'clock tonight. We thank them for coming and for videoing this. Let's go ahead and close. Oh. Okay, and I'm supposed to do what with that? Okay, the Single Moms Villa, the brochure here, you'll see it on the outside about the desk. Pick one up if you like it. Okay, let's pray. Father, what a wonderful day you've given us. We do praise you. We do thank you for all that you have done here in our work with Guardian Angels, the help that we've received from One More Child, and the way they've handled the recruiting, licensing, and training our foster parents, and you continue to support them on a daily basis. We just praise you, and we just wind up here today with what's actually written on the cakes. To God be the glory. Great things he has done. We love you and we thank you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Today is a day of celebration, praise, and thanksgiving. We're praising God and His people for making this all possible. There is no other explanation than this is a God thing. We started out, as you know, way back in our first houses we built in 2010. Well, actually 2013, we bought the land in 2010. And now we're completing houses 7 and 8. And it's just beyond anything I ever believe we'd be able to do. God is amazing, and His people are amazing. Ed was more than instrumental. Ed was the driving force, he and Joanne, behind Guardian Angels. We would not be here today at all, but for all the work that he put in. And Ed was quite a guy. If you knew Ed, he was there. You didn't say no to Ed.
That's true.
It's kind of a funny story, probably not appropriate right here. You can cut it out later. But Ed invited Bobby and me in 2006 out for dinner, or lunch. And we went, and I'm sure he probably mentioned Guardian Angels, but I don't recall it. I know he never said anything much about it. A month later, we get something in the mail, and on the list, Bobby is listed as a director, and I'm an honorary director. There's absolutely no question, Charles. We could not have done it without God's people. Bruce Williams Homes built all of our 8 homes, plus the Compassion Center here. Britt Williams and his trade partners, what they've done for us goes beyond any explanation. We have one of the finest finished carpenters in the county. Put all of the baseboards, door casings, hung all the doors. Each one of these homes are 6 bedrooms, 6.5 baths. There's a lot of woodwork. Did all 8 homes. Never let us pay him a penny. And we had, like Grade Services Inc., Roger Alvarez, did all of the grade work, all the work out here, hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of work. Never let us pay him a penny. I mean, these are the kind of things we never anticipated. We didn't know what the heck we were doing. And then, of course, becoming involved with One More Child, partnering with them, that is just, we didn't know how to do any of this stuff. We build the homes, we buy the land, turn it all over to One More Child. We don't own anything. Guardian Angels doesn't. But they've done a phenomenal job. Well, Bobby has been incredible. She's been the president since 2006. And this has just been a phenomenal work for her. But I can't tell you the joy that we've received. But she had to do so many things that she had never done before. We're both not really computer literate. She's a lot better than I am. But she's just done so much. She's been a phenomenal champion for this cause, and it's just been wonderful to work with her. Well, our motto has always been building hope in homes for children, for hurting foster children. And that's what we try to do, and that's what these homes are for. We are now getting ready to move into a new campus project, and it will be for single mom villas. We'll be building those. And this is to help avoid foster care. It's not a handout, it's a hand up. And again, we'll be building the buildings, the homes, and One More Child will be working with the mothers and all this kind of stuff to do that part of it. As I say, we own nothing. We have no employees. We pay the salaries of 6 employees, but it's through One More Child. I could go on for a long time, and I will not do that. Let me just say that without God's people being as generous as they've been, there's no way in the world we could have accomplished all this. You don't build these kind of homes, 6 bedrooms, 6.5 baths, for $300,000 or $500,000. It costs a lot of money to buy the land and to build the homes. God's people have furnished that money. And I hope they'll continue to support us, because we're getting ready to go into a new campus project, and that too is going to cost money. That's about all I can say about that. We've had 2 mantras. I may mention this tonight or this afternoon when I speak, but we've had 2 mantras that compassion is an action. We've gone with that one. And then the other one is, when God gives a vision, He always makes provision. And we have just seen that to come true through the generosity of His people. There's no other explanation.
As you well know, it is not me that has accomplished this, but the Lord. And we went into it knowing that it was His ministry, and He loves orphans and children. And so we had the mission from the very beginning to be able to provide the love of Christ for these children, that they would grow in a family where they could see that demonstrated every day. So God allowed us to be able to buy property, to build homes, and to provide a safe place for these children that are coming out of situations that are not good. My leadership was easy because of a board that was faithful and also was very supportive. Also, what made it easy was the community. It was people like Charlie Klapsel and METV that helped us get the word out. People don't know about foster care and the needs of the children in this local community. So different organizations, churches, everything came together. So we're moving on to the next phase. Our goal now is to be able to help single moms keep their children out of foster care. They just need a hand up. And we want to come in, provide a safe place, a home, training for them so that they're able to provide for their children. We have found that to be true. These moms want to do best for their kids. Some of them are working 2 and 3 jobs. They can't afford to even put a down payment on a home. But this program, which is produced through One More Child, is our partner. And they will provide the training. They will help them establish a bank account. They require them to put so much money away so that at the end of the time that they're there, 12 to 18 months, they'll be able to successfully go out on their own and be able to provide for their children. It'll be a wonderful opportunity for them. We have found the community to really step up. And the fact that we were able to be a part of that was just an added blessing for us. We can't take a whole lot of credit. This whole community came together to see this happen, but it's a blessing to be able to be here today, to dedicate these homes, and to celebrate what God has done on this campus. Thank you. We are so blessed to see everyone want to come out and celebrate with us. I mean, our board has been so faithful through all these years, each tiny step that we took, and now they can look and see what has been accomplished by their faithful dedication too. So we love it. It's a great day, and we're just rejoiced to be here. The secret here, though, really, is the foster parents on this campus. They are our heroes. They are the ones who said, yes, I will take somebody else's child and provide them a safe home, and I will love them with the love of Christ. And that's what's made it succeed. You know, they are just amazing, amazing people. The community is certainly welcome to join us in any way, shape, or form. Because of the Azinger Family Compassion Center that is here, there is a ample room for volunteers to come. Any day, there's always something that needs to be done. We always need more foster parents. So if anyone feels so inclined, we offer training for foster parents so that they can come and step into one of these homes or that they can foster in their own home. So it's not just our campus that provides for foster children. We have other independent foster families too. So the community has already stepped up through grants and churches giving on a regular basis, individuals that give every month. So we can't do it without our volunteers and those who support us.
We're just super excited about the culmination of being able to see this campus finalized, to be able to provide care for over 1,000 foster children since its inception, and in this amazing compassion center where we're getting to meet needs on a daily basis. Yeah, at One More Child, we provide Christ-centered services for children and families in need. And this past year, we were able to directly impact over 250,000 children and adults. And we were able to provide over 19 million meals. That's fantastic. And so we've got this awesome partnership with Guardian Angels of Southwest Florida that we've had now for close to 17 years that we've been working together to be able to help kids and families. We get to work in 5 primary areas of serving foster children, children that are in foster care, of coming alongside single mothers with their children to be able to keep the families together, and really working in a really hard area of helping to provide services for child victims of sex trafficking. And then being able to feed hungry children, coming alongside struggling families. And so we focus in those 5 areas, and here with Guardian Angels, we get to meet so many of those in such a real and tangible way. Well, it is. It really comes back to it's a lot of work. But the real work takes place with amazing volunteers like Floyd and Bobby Price, Paul and Tony Azingers. We're in the Azinger Family Compassion Center. The board members of Guardian Angels have been working diligently. And then our corporate partners that come alongside us. Bell's Outlet has provided us so many clothes to be able to provide for kids and families. Public supermarkets, Winn-Dixie, I mean, it's amazing to see the corporate partners that say we care about our communities and we care about our kids. Yeah, I mean, we've seen that on a state level, on a community level, a state level, also on a national level, the needs of children and families increasing. And it's really easy to be able to see one thing of how many children in foster care that we have that need a loving family to surround them. But we can look throughout our communities and even talk to our friends and be able to see how many single moms out there are trying to provide for kids, and they are brave, and some of them are doing outstanding. But we also know that 80% of those single mom households are struggling to provide basic income for their families. And so they need us as extended family to come alongside them. And we need every organization, every business, every individual involved, because these are our children. And we have that responsibility to be able to care for them. And so reach out to onemorechild.org and inquire and say, hey, I want to come alongside, I want to give, to be able to give financially to make sure that we can provide for kids and families. I want to link up our business to be able to help with you to do that. And then I want to volunteer. I just want to come alongside and be able to sort cans and food and be able to get diapers out to families. I've shared with you that impact and hundreds of thousands of children and individuals, families, adults this year, but it really comes back to one. And so I'd tell you about Ella. Ella is a little girl that at 14 months of age, her family, mom and dad, had overdosed on oxycodone. She was exposed to oxy in the home. When EMT arrived, Ella had passed out. Ella had to be revived, resuscitated. They used Narcan on a 14-month-old little girl, and she was in ICU for 3 months. We had this amazing foster family to be able to come forward and say, hey, I'm going to be the one to care for Ella. And now 2.5 years later, Ella has been adopted into that forever family. I mean, it means everything. It's all about helping one more, and it's all about that one. That's right. And every child doesn't have that storybook ending of a good situation, but every child deserves a chance. Every child deserves an opportunity. Every child deserves food to eat, clean water to drink, a home where they can be safe and where they can be loved.